real estate broker with the Pioneer Group, and I'm here again today to talk about getting your credit pulled. Credit's a big issue when it comes to mortgage financing, and all the time I'm hearing, I don't want to get my credit pulled. I don't want to get my credit pulled because it's going to affect my credit score. So what I've done today is I brought in again my good buddy, Jason Jean, the mortgage machine. Welcome, Jay.
Hi, Don.
Welcome back. We appreciate you coming in today, but we are going to talk a little bit about mortgages and people getting their credit pulled. They're always concerned about getting their credit pulled. So give us some insight about how that works, please.
So we get that question. I'm sure you get it a lot. We definitely get it a lot. We have to check people's credit.
Oh, absolutely. They got to get their credit checked if they're going through a mortgage. I mean, that's our number one criteria.
Absolutely. So that's why you kind of want to do your homework before you really start applying for mortgages. Get recommendations from the industry professionals because they know who's good and who's not. And it doesn't, I think it matters less maybe on the institution and probably more on the individual who's staying on top of your loan file during the process. But, once you figure out who you want.
In other words, it doesn't really matter who you're sending your check to, who's going to get the job.
It may or may not for you, but for most people, I don't think so.
Right.
But you want to be informed throughout the process, et cetera. So, so once you've kind of determined who you really want to get a mortgage pre-qualification or pre-approval from, you're going to have to let them pull your credit. Credit pulls for mortgage purposes are a little bit different than some of the other, credit pulls out there. They do distinguish between the different types. For example,
they who?
The credit bureaus who are calculating your credit score. And so, for example, if you go to a car dealership and you have an automobile inquiry, okay, those are different than a mortgage inquiry, and they can actually run your credit 8, 10, I've seen up to 15 times to get the best deal for the interest rate on that. And it may or may not benefit you, believe it or not. So, that can affect someone's credit.
15 pulls, I would
15 pulls. Whereas us as mortgage originators, we're going to pull your credit once, most likely. Okay, and so that one credit pull is not going to affect your score by more than a couple of points. Okay, and then also credit card inquiries. If you're applying for a credit card, that means you're trying to take out a credit card. If you're applying for mortgage pre-qualification, you may or may not buy a house. So they're not, So it is more of a risk of your score going down with a credit card inquiry. Okay, so you don't really want to apply for all these different credit cards, especially if you get denied, because now you have a mortgage inquiry and you don't have the resulting, potential good credit from it. So you want to be careful with those. But mortgage inquiries, they'll allow you to shop around a little bit too.
Right.
Okay, because they do understand if you apply at 3 different banks or brokers or mortgage companies, they're not going to assume that you're going to buy 3 different properties. Okay, they assume that you're shopping for a mortgage.
Right.
Okay, and so I've heard different things at different credit seminars, but I would say that the most conservative estimate I've heard is you can apply at 3 different mortgage companies or banks up to 2 weeks time frame, and it will only count as one inquiry. Now, that's the most conservative, so I think you're going to be safe if you use that rule. So if you pick 3 institutions. You'll apply, for a mortgage pre-qualification with the 3, and then you're going to get an idea as to how each of them works, and you'll probably be able to choose the best, person that's suited for you.
So, just to recap what Jason said, then you really only want to get your credit pulled minimal. You're right. You only want to get it pulled minimal. If you get it pulled a couple times through a mortgage company in a very short period of time, not going to affect your credit that much. Getting your credit pulled for cars and or really credit cards going to affect you big time, especially through the mortgage process. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Jason, but in the mortgage process, we really don't want to do any kind of credit pulls. We don't want to change our credit picture at all unless we're specifically advised by our loan officer to do something.
Always consult your mortgage loan originator throughout the process. If you need a car or you need something, because that can definitely affect your approval for a mortgage in the future.
You're in the middle of the process, call your loan officer.
Yeah, and then at the end, a lot of banks will actually run a soft pull to make sure that you haven't applied for new credit. And then sometimes, 3-4 days before closing, they're just realizing that you did apply for a new credit card. You may not haven't gotten your statement yet, but now you have to quickly get your statement into the bank so that they can now use the new minimum payment on your store charge card that you just opened last week. So it can become very hectic. Do not apply for anything.
Just real quick story, as I've seen people, especially first-time home buyers, they're moving out of that 4-room apartment into a 6-7-room house, and they're all excited. What do? They go buy furniture on credit. So they go down to the local furniture store and they open up a store card to buy that couch, the TV. It does, and as Jason said, the last minute the credit bureau or the bank will pull their credit, and bingo, there's this additional credit which may affect their ability to buy. So don't change your credit picture at all during the process. And so, again, I want to thank you, Jason, for coming.
Thanks
Good
for having
information,
me.
I think. So for more information about the home buying process or the mortgage process, please visit our websites below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This is Don Thompson, the real estate broker with the Pioneer Group. To your success, have a great day.